Right na ye discussions no and so kakra. Mr. Kofi Champon. Ma emo wakwaba se bibia ye.
Imi da maraka na. So
we dey Nyankopon se ya bibia so ekoso kama pa. All right. If you say no the be fine.
Okay. So me starting from area of course of interest to me. Yeah, stadium no. Minister by inspection no.
Okay.
It's a good step, but see the bia no you misplace normal. Show stadium no say stadium and yeah covered. So no. But every time your choice of material crown at the sitting, no.
Yeah.
So so plastic na the sitting we say no. Any ye kind of weather na ye all say no. So this plastic are at the mercy of rains, sunshine, water bibia.
Yeah.
It won't say week. Anything omu so man to no mutu to no. And our students crab ye intercokra na ebubu no. So no.
Yeah.
Your stadium no, I don't know. Who solution a bit my no. Very good you from the minister. If indeed said those can in and say be juma saying the any best that bahona no man be a bit here to look at changing rooms way. This was supposed to be say and but yet material day and saying.
I didn't.
Some of them no. We put them so much only the lockers in the one.
Yeah.
There are areas of where Joe sewage and I'm from and I'm ho. And you know from the WC no. Oh no, na sewage and then I'm floor no.
So the work ben no.
So
and so he sums and everybody say the air renovation.
So me am you mo stadium no hwe wo dia o na ko baby na hwe baby dia. Now we be say questions. So no. Into the whole aspect of the stadium no. Question mark on baby. Kumasi Stadium, I think it's a one area baby unya one semi VIP launch. You can inside though.
Yeah.
And the company meet modern day standard, but at least other because they okay. But beyond that, even the architecture of the VIP sitting area, ayasem. The sitting now, yes, she show to say the making ayasem. Changing rooms ayasem. Pitch near Bobo was no. Ayasem kakraka.
Bibia.
Everything.
Scoreboard crowd. And to say, we named the last time a year more. A year magic kutum cry, dear Bessa. To say, Bibia.
Some happy minister na fa with this name is now young me and Congo. Now, yet comprehensive idea. Then so yenya technical, knowledge. Oh no, they said I'm a contractor. Na contractor say Bibi Dan Usi and also you win the stadium no a purpose idea on. You need to make a sort of myself. Ebia, you could be a good contractor who sit down. But stadium no, the technical requirement is different from say, Jola Kabefa Kusini Diamond. You they make a sort of myself. Into a day contractor no, so munya some knowledge. One who say stadium, what are the technical requirements? A stadium. You see, ebia a locker room to non swako, you know the bisio, you see into no why you know the babisio. And what? SI big enough for you call nearby. How many times the anti renovation at Kumasi Stadium? How many times the anti renovation at your stadium? But the choir near some baby. The choir near some baby. If you it Musana DBA renovation. You can meet my as usual.
Yes,
I think that.
But NSC boss, that's why inspections I said the Kofi Adams. So that's why Wakotamali Wakwe
yeah, but he's not the spending officer. And to know
how problems are.
I am about the report in the back. Now, be a minister who wants to verify for himself. Some of the appreciate it. Most times, so a minister now, I'm chair minister. Joe, ubenya problems be because okay, we are quite haba, and no, the abandoned no use castle mufanko. No, it's also can appreciate no man one. Now, we are so the realities on the ground. To who approve Biana, who stand be something later, frost justify, I'll be to do one, it might justify. Most of the time, some share public account committee one mission in ano. Confirm the spending scandal, but it do a few minutes to come and answer. And I it. It's good steps. So you come no have heard when you have no man. And the next people to anymore, then you know what you are signing or what you are not signing. So no. Kotoko any kotoko oni excuse. So on born about Kumasi Stadium. Majority of the supporting in our Kumasi. But we sound say beyond the prelims, no. Better than a kotoko. You fancy your bumpire is a kotoko qualify was a confederation cup or Mukuba do group stage. And ye confederation, no, I a bit easier. it is our transnational planet. Joe, I'm telling you, it's our transnational planet with proper way. Said this is how I'm executing the Confederations Cup. Oh no, backed by Sika Wihiane, knowledge Wihiane, football Wihiana. Joe, for easy for you to make it to the group stage.
Okay.
Nije something different. But it's easy for you to make it to the group stage. Because first net is an over 1, over 2. If we are Champions League for now, more qualifiers now, you know. Or mama drop from last we know. Just so I do my club 2 elders so. No matter about. Do you see that those teams from the Champions League, you know, are eliminating those teams now? Originally, Oma qualify for Confederations Cup. Do you see that at the Confederations Cup group stage, you know, 60-70% of them teams are ordinarily they should be playing the Champions League. But no idea. On no the route to cut this season, so they are repeating the same thing. To understand route no they call and one or they call. It's all planning the year. And gracious from CAF they say in the initial stages, no, they try as much as possible to do, regional pairings, draw no. We yet say region, so you don't have to travel far.
Okay.
For prelims, no.
Okay.
But you want to mention. So, for instance, as Sanukotoko, for instance, you see that they will be drawn against teams in the West African zone.
Okay.
Ebi in Guinea. Ebi you draw to Nigeria.
Yeah.
You draw to Ebi your friend is saying Liberia. Say alone. Say. Hoba bi sa na onenam. And it's all planning here. Anytime I won't share a bunumu for no. Now group stage. In Tomisha crying, you say you are at the group stage. You are guaranteed minimum 6 matches. You're getting minimum 6 matches. Just so you don't cry now. We knew whole matches in our 9 points. Joe 9 points, no, a 55% chance of qualify to the next stage of the competition.
But what can we say? Prelims, a bit me abo.
Yes.
Are you by extension saying say carve approve the cost in any or man then be carve approve?
Oh, this one they went my ball.
With my ball.
I'm sure. I've been fan. Until last time now I was wondering say CAF hasn't written to anybody.
Okay.
I pick a telephone to call. I'm sure let them know here.
Them say cause here CAF clearance.
Yes.
With my ball prelims.
Yeah, but I'm saying say now there was in the news that CAF are rejected I think Kumasi Stadium or something. But CAF hasn't done that because engagement in Kwan started here. CAF what they did was to bring out the roadmap for the engagement. They're saying that clubs Kotokone if I'm saying Go Stars I will confirm it to GFA. GFA would submit their names to FNSN CAF. So in registration now ben name baby abobo matches no. But you want to make sure no. And so now whether they would agree to it or not agree to it.
To hear the course yeah. On my inspection no, but
this one they can for the prelims they can agree to it.
Prelims.
Yes.
Okay.
They can agree to this one.
Okay.
But group stage in the group stage in the requirement in my phone is meeting that show. One about say baby I say take care why times x me take yes ma the Kumasi Stadium. So for the prelims I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, CAF inspection crowds and the prelims not just.
No, but this one so only still there a work CAF will so that any there. Or be on your inspection, but the end you so that no, they can send somebody to come and see. And for prelims no first of all club now no maybe be a share with some more. No be the media right one or control idea. Yeah. And it's not going to there to mainstream win so. But when you do group stage now, and then no the proper saying Champions League or Confederations Cup Nagasana would do no. And all those requirements should come to play.
I see.
No, Go Stars in their choice of Accra no. Just more than say the Kumasi Stadium in listen so. I engage them. Omufi say the cost around it. Say komo bo baby any to say Kumasi Stadium no bo baby any there only problem.
Okay.
But now I'm about Kumasi Stadium, so they themselves have to chauffeur themselves or carry themselves or transport themselves from Bebiani to Kumasi.
Yeah.
And also make provision for supporters to Kumasi. Yeah. Meanwhile, you would have to transport the away team from Accra by flight to Kumasi. Yeah. And the officials, minimum 5 or 6, also from Accra to Kumasi and all other people only involved. Can you see another cost?
Host team, no?
Yeah, home say, what's the because the distance between Accra and Kumasi is more than 200 kilometers. You need to fly them if they insist. This is why when your team be ubetimi no more I negotiation now for each now who use who azabi.
By bus?
Yes, but I did it. I started to go team no mobile the bus ne the bag oboase. Straight they didn't have to fly. And so you who that is only how you convince them as a what in them? I don't know how to put it. How smart you are?
Replace me,
smart.
Replace me.
My music smart. I saw you smart in negotiating.
Okay.
Oh no. Meanwhile, when he went to Equatorial Guinea, it became an issue. Insistence. Africa, so we compare some charter flight to my. Are you getting what I say? Yeah. So they charter flight for us. Whilst in our case, they came by bus. We didn't have to spend a damn on them.
Wow.
So no. All those expenditure now, Accra, Sunday about no so okay. Sadia, why don't we transport ourselves to Accra and then rather support our supporters to come to Accra? And no cost near less.
Sure.
Than some Babu Kumasi. So a cop beyond just there. Just say Kumasi Stadium and approved in a normal.
And copy the Bay international match beer the inspection because we who say into your stadium and me meet calf standards.
Your problem now
match beer just your
problem now only your problem.
Renovation yes say the next game. The say the same thing I say. Oi.
Mama fanya nto bi ati say dey otifie.
Yeah.
Na jo e dey bi obi be cry so ba ofie bia just obe clean o start say o clean ofie. Let's oti won on clean ofie.
Oh oba okruma afi na oba problem.
Ade bia oba ka so oba bia afi na oba you. San ye tigana ye sese. De bia bobo match international match bia afi ne ye rane we ne ka tibum ye de ani be. But you say no so obi ka so kobo match even to say Nigeria crowd no omo one. The Uyo Stadium no. Come international match. I don't know be heading their heads say coin. When say stadium it's on the list.
Yeah.
Oh no. Say because of match Morocco, office on bed say why. So on play no yesa. Because of match South Africa, on play no yesa. Because everybody and one so be choose baby apesa obo no one name baby apesa obo no.
Kufi e de ba dia.
What's that?
Maintenance culture. So ya man yourself na
maintenance culture.
Why ni emblem no?
Maintenance culture. You Ghanaians,
your politicians, nana.
Ghanaians as people. Let's say baby politicians. These are because from civil servant and
most of them say political appointments.
But they are not politicians. So they will be about point too. But they are still these are civil servants. But the problem is your maintenance culture. You need that idea, no. And now
the supervision
and a cut short.
It goes down to the politician again.
Yes.
Ufomu manage Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Every single dime a bebano. A second account managed by Accra.
Yeah.
Nemum hiya sika edi ABC dia na yedin. Maintenance na emfan said the managers of Baba Yara no obeyen or discan beye. Sika no so bi betua no ye emfan say abo match ho ombenya X amount. That X amount goes into an account which omu entuminya access to. Until at the end of the day, Bob Ukranu hiana say emfan say esuru ho ma kwan ya ontuminye.
And me know ya, you know. I know about my critics scenario been struck. Okay? There's been instances match Babaso Kumasi Stadium and as another stadium. Joe, no matter say winning. So people raise money from sometimes from different resources. It will be a GF Yiska. It will be some pushy minister no Yiska no banner pitch no yakofan for bag giddy. Near team raise pitch not to settle a bob way I know my jai. Now I save you. Now a minister they be about Yiska be to answer. It is the
one is a supervisor.
And I make sure I need to say in a bobo to say the minister will say bobo. Now we are the big budget squeezing away with this car. Now by working on the pitch and I do certain level. Joe, I do certain level in a bit with bobo no. Ye bowe ya no. Fine. Nothing. Na pitch no ngura self wo no we
still someone's responsibility.
I went yes
to ensure you do the right thing.
Yeah, this is the appointing for. No because this is service servant. I went to South Africa to do a game. Me kwana me game, me na ma be game. So first day I arrived here no, they took me to my hotel. Me so I want to go and inspect the stadium. To me kwa me omoni wura then okay. Do some rap pitch no so I be now dey me gidi. Some pene ma me fa me na fancy pitch na no. Don't be gidi until say official neighbor say oh me a calf we wanti on allow me ma me. Na Joe, first day me na me call pitch ni so no. Second day no they called the stadium manager to come. We ain't no buy. Obe hand me certificate of the state of the stadium. So my home certificate. So time up the other stadium, the other new certificate. Mama receive your sign. In 2 years, so hand over the stadium as you came to meet it. edemano the pitch na ho na me kra na ya allow no be can for two mpaboa kra wo di tia park no so ewie no according no ho nyina off ewie but man Ghana will spend money 100,000 200,000 to lift this pitch no keke no the bill 100,000 something but we know hey because we nam ha na we go ha no anu musu ato agu ha na we kofa na we pitch na e bobo wo so no because we don't care yen chai shi because baby a pitch na tse kosua o tro musu hwe no tse kosua because say attention ekoso but yen ne sa nti yes it is true so be inspected but nesu ntini ya fo bi wo ho na o ba wa discuss o pese wo maintain pitch no ya just can maintain your ball match ni we ya no maintenance na e ni wo bi o ati akoda we don't do anything
that person will be paid
but some ba ketua e do next match ana ba bi o so mo san yesi ba how na betima continue to do that
yent me fan show mo so mo maintain friends pitch no nko so mo so mo je so djuma no nko something fo bi na so mo hwe so mo ya djuma
na me chese no so mo me penfo
eba be si minister class.
Oh, how?
Yes.
I mean, minister no me patient.
So no na be.
If you understand this thing, if you understand this.
Obi na share nse baba yara. Sepen mu wa.
Enti na sadia, say can there will no be need for all those appointments.
Enti no said share nse stadium no. O ensure say obia bibi show nsa, say pitch o, say dressing room o, say hwan yo, bibia no obeye wadwuma. Ehye nipa na baba yara share nsa no. Enti ese wo ye wadwuma wo ensure say nipa na ye adwuma minister so ese wo ensure say nipa na share nsa baba yara no wa ye no nso adwuma ma the pitch ni share nsa na ye adwuma but won't mean nka say wo ye penwa relax because me dey so bisa.
You think that the minister they don't question this? You think that the minister don't question this? I've had the privilege of sitting in a meeting. Minister
don't question and they no ba hayo
one year oba question one
what say so mo question there I didn't don't call around say yo mo if constantly the ministers no question omo de adwuma na show mo so mo nyana I know mo ba na ashoko mo say how you see
now do you know what they tell them do you know what they tell them
and they say the call you know no adi akira bay
sabi ni
did you know mo catch minister
I don't know report or they be call
but so say akira bay
you know say akira bay we enti de anya no obe release funds na mo aye we are how so be obe supervise so be say at the end be all maintain no that's where the issue is you
general
wow
you see
Kofiru tu kwai pa. Wait ma ko pitch ba ko so be mpre nu ana mprensa afi ba ko meboa. Yes. Baba ko da bia na de ko na.
Na tie mentini na msensa di pasa da ho da bia.
Say Ghana e different.
E different ni nye suman.
Ko Côte d'Ivoire na nsenya. Yes. Afcon ye ko hoti na nsenya. Okoye ne pictures what they.
Also san ko obi omkra no e feche se tama no de bo na.
Yes, the Felix Ofobwan Stadium no. Now, which group was it? I think Group C, if I'm not wrong.
Ghana Group B.
Group B.
Yeah, Group B. Yani Egypt, Mozambique, no money away more keep.
But check well. But normally Group C no boss semi-final. But I know say one of my bosses na GC or South Stadium no when I'm spending time you know training ball boys no and giant flag no yeah other stadium you know. You remember training you know. So when they had all those training before a tournament started. So it's a stadium I knew very well. I'm an impatient. Now we are almost about a Confederation Cup and Champions League. I think it was Champions League. Ali ne we mbobo me kowe. Me who pitch no. Jo ni maniaji. At that level. It's a pitch. Yeah, but we were so somewhere in Africa. Obakona. Unu run a friend Twitter. Unu run a friend Twitter.
Yeah.
Unu run a friend Twitter. Unu run. Joe, you do your grass will be what Ghana ha. I swear to you, so baby, na Twitter, it was grass, 50 grass. But the part to walk was more dinner.
Oh, the child who's a green.
Baba running on my woman.
Sika a bit D. And you're
General
Ghana.
No cranny say the cream corruption is very attractive because in Crawford, a form day in day out. Because you catch us a stadium where a stadium your diama contract atum ebie diama contract atum ebie several times. That's in it here. You ask yourself, says canom kainano, ye day if I any nekowie saying. You ask all these questions. The baby a crowd be quite be fin. After few days ubekono na ejija adentia inferior products and a we don't ensure value for money. You see, Minister inspection are all corner airfield, but who are the technical guys following them? Or on the technical director can, but me bottom you say stadium now Achi make be say a contractor may be a good contractor, all right, but the stadium is a specialized place. Make us a ukita calf or lists. I describe the various aspects of the stadium, the design, and requirements, the standards. And nona would they inspection, nanka specialist. Minim say Ikrom Hanome or some number of specialists, including Kofi Champon, Emmanuel Newton, that's many others. Which specialist, when it comes to stadium and the standards, can a part of this inspection omokwi? Baby minister so I say this so mukataso na mukataso I said the stadium no players neighbor fans ni access to them. I so the same way say minister da braka. The inspection is good. The desire to help is good, but let's do the right things. Otherwise, e besa be transfer be kasa ansem we ya. Ye be twa secretary dey there. Calf beba and the dressing room no e bi ebrebi atwam na nye round. First, Mr. Bench is in fin kribia na okay. These standards have changed. So, in our desire to correct the wrongs, we have to approach it properly and professionally. Who are the stadium experts? I can the inspection team now. And then document the kitomu. I say indeed stadium no say inspecting dressing room na ye nimsa ne ka fo hwehwe no etie nie yenso ye de no say na tie ana.
No, those things there do level wise or don't sabe ko ho akoy adwuma na.
Me chitum kofi but if the minister if the minister is interested in suggesting yenya hase yenkata haso yenye say dia you are entering into that zone when indeed you are not the expert. So honorable, may admire Honorable Kofi Idia Adams so far with how he's approaching the sector. He's on the grounds, and it's good. It's very good, but it must be done properly, and the right guys should be involved. Otherwise, we are getting back to a. Obviously, say a penny short term. To say somewhere August or so, where Kotokoni Go Stars whereby ye nim the SSA any a penny long timer, ye nim the ebeye. We even have to include these clubs in this discussion. Okay, prelims in the move to Mabo. So ye join to the extent say after the prelims, proper maintenance in the stadium will start in Tikotokofwe. Babaya no prelims in them, but we say Yamaya Madonna mo qualify, Munyam accounts and mo budget for the BBR ready say they are cannot the mobile no Accra. Because right after that, they ma contract. Now you close the stadium down. Then we know where we are getting to. Very soon league will also start. It is a whole lot of thing. General, we need proper commitment, proper inspection, and proper implementation.
Even though the sports program is not about politics, it's not very shocking how leaders of the Sports Authority and the Regional Ministry and the KMA in the past government allowed the sports stadiums to deteriorate to that level. What did the leaders in the recently past government do with regards to the Babaya Stadium in Kumasi? And if any renovation was done, what is the quality of the materials that was used? I'm seriously disappointed with the leaders that have the responsibilities over the stadium in the past governments, particularly after the 2008 Cup of Nations. I think sports journalists should be bold to call out politicians who failed in their responsibilities that relate to sports and sports development. Dr. Moses Agawina, senior lecturer at De Montfort University, Leicester, UK. Anyway,
see, doctor is spot on. I would say, a transport programs, we say, not politician be take a decision, and now acting in a way. I'm a writer. Oh, can I acquire politics? Now, through say politicians, we be attack. You say, oh, the sports know your politics. And to boom say, you can't near Nasi a janisa. But seriously, some of these things, must be properly scrutinized because Auto stadium na de ma contract na wa ye no abi na de atum na de ma contract na ya beka sika kese de akire na obi ane namba baby ye ne ye no kra na in 1 week 3 months na asase
ye beautiful for na urama utumbuza mo say dia pa no dia no msa no ha
bi on ma we ko na de
dia pa no msa no ha nduma tum for a very long time
HWC sahodo abubu gu ase obebre na we kra na is it healthy?
I remember one time, I think...
Is it healthy?
Is it 2 years ago?
Several of them. You just have to take records and then when we need to go for recycling or something.
2 years ago, I mean, let me say 2 years, not 3 years, I've forgotten. Now, my friend in Accra so organized an international match, so okay, Dortmund. Okay, it's a Dortmund legends.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Accra.
So, Anthony Baffo told them, say, like they have to get me to come and organize the match for them. What I say, I'm coordinating on my mom. You one of the requirements here team Bobo is say I had to get the people in to paint. But what in to paint to come and paint the dressing room. And now quite crash maybe after later no me to paint for one match because you call her I have be fit.
Wow.
But they were playing matches.
Yeah, they are bro for neighbor.
They were playing matches.
They
got to paint dressing room. They got to carpet. This is a baby.
Crash posted.
I'm telling you. Go penko for making toilet. No, when you say, just to get it to a certain level. Bit my boss Dortmund Dortmund legends. Match been our crash stadium. What I say. But there were people there almost supervise every day in the Omukomojuma Badebia. But me, you call one pen. To get the stadium ready, say you must boss a match or no. They could die to be painting, changing rooms, you know. Paint you, do sent a crate now. Now, farmer for bar. Sorry, Ben, no be fee Ghana, at the Akose, the national stadium, and no Modeko, and Dortmund a football club. And you one country, not as a country. So the people from different countries, no more about Dortmund in the past. So they were coming from different part of the world. What kind of, they call Ghana? So we needed to paint the stadium one. Peppermint, myself and the referee so mudi match no 1 cedi. I
see.
Yeah, because all the money nobody had to go into uplifting the changing room just for the match.
The ancient lesson beyond freezer and can nearly calf your qualifiers need free.
Kafas.
I call outside Ghana.
Kafas.
The ancient every
Kafas classified stadium for any competition into 4. Yeah. In that ascending order. Category 1, Category 2, Category 3, Category 4. That's what I say. Category 1, for women's youth FIFA competitions like qualifiers. For qualifiers. And now Women's Champions League qualifiers. So they say the is it police ladies? I mean we no so maka about qualifiers no. Ewo wafu and sanoma the main Champions League. Category 2, Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. It's we are class stadium one. Na me match under 17, under 20, under 23 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. Under 17, under 20, under 23 Africa Cup of Nations final tournament. Category 2 bit me host final tournament. And then Men's Champions League, the preliminary rounds, Men's Confederation Cup preliminary round. This is where Kotoko and Go Stars are falling into. Yeah. So requirement for category 2 no check it whether the commercial stadium meet here. Until I say it may me abo. Then category 3 echo with the Men's Champions League group stage the quarter final. Men's Confederation Cup group stage and quarter finals. Men's Africa Cup of Nations, FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Men's Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. Men's Africa Cup of Nations, Women's Africa Cup of Nations final tournament and Women's Champions League final. Then category 4 is what can host anything and everything in Africa. As in the AFCON finals, Champions League final, Confederation Cup final, World Cup qualifiers, and a category 4. But each of them, tall list of checklists for you to meet. So no. Ebiane ne dia eso meet ansana edimiedu sa stage wo. Nti wo stadium na wa go through ade no hunu say whether wo be hunu before cry you even go in. Wo be hunu before you go in. Nti stadium me fi say ya sebi o ye tie fi a de bia ade cha no pa enim say e pra e say yesi e keep we no. when you are handed BPTC National Stadium, you are saying Sakon, said the bien sat down. Still me who fair anyone when you know. Every time they are working on it, especially the pitch. Natural pitches na do certain no. Feni agro. Di agro.
How we Mr. Mike Bonsu, a member of the club licensing committee, Ghana Football Association. Hello, Sergio, for your information. The original deadline for Ghanaian champion clubs to submit the applications and requirements for CAF interclub participation to the Ghana Club Licensing Board was June 30th, 2025. However, CAF has extended the deadline to July 31st, 2025. This extension should give our clubs more time to meet the necessary requirements under the CAF club licensing system.
So like
like I told you,
CAF hasn't rejected BB because we know the engagement period, and the engagement period and then now the winner and you're qualified. They will tell you you're qualified. So what I say between now and time until say engagement period, no can on bet baby above in our list. I was surprised when I saw that publication in the media.
Okay, to whatever I say. Omoye na no so nche a stadium no ebetima mana deteriorate to a very bad state because prelims no nye they are CAF checking bebre anamewa
no prelims require requirement to one thing na me esa samia na say
because
prelims require requirement
as the CAF ni problem
prelims no category 2 what I say stadium classification and the CAF.
I say prelims in the Nadia CAF.
No.
Okay.
Tell me, me say CAF stadium no classified into 4. 1 actually normal bit competition bit number 2 and as our Champions League we know Ni nyina want requirement. Tall list of requirements.
It's possible say stadium a bit me reject CAF it ma reject.
Of course. But I'm saying, say, possible they can play the prelims or no.
But a bit on bit marriage exists.
Yes. Yeah. But I'm saying, CAF hasn't communicated that now sub application.
Because tell me who have baby who here be a one yet. So the minister you can pitching yet. Dressing room yet. Baby bench cry you want to cry no and yet. So I say a scoreboard there bobo baby obo subia washroom bibia into the day na mama CAF ajatum so
you can take our time to go through list requirement for category 2 no
yes
yeah I go through
into young bit me
oh sir
yes senya ade tall list bia dia bit ma category 2 no any prelims you boya na
yes
I know yes
also general so do any to the entire be GD say baba yara be qualify for the prelims when a Brekum Chelsea a ball Africa, Golden City Park. Ebimpo Andrew Babayara. Ediana minim search.
I just said the requirement now
yes, but you agree with me say prelims in it. You understand that no? Initial crowd.
No, ombeji be atum. No. That is my question.
And it be biao. But I want to bring you to understand.
We are only saying say one, they have
okay, so I'll tell you something. When Dreams played the qualifiers for Competition Cup, now class stadium any CAF list no marriage yet in so but they played there. What am I say? It do some group stage, they had to move to Kumasi because Kumasi was on the list. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? But what the better mention? I saw tell yourself from this we say. When Dreams played the qualifiers for Kodris Cup, now across stadium any CAF list, no rejected. But they played Timmy Fisher Leone, Mohamed Kalon team, and now back home from Guinea, we played there. But it do group stage, because now move from one category to a higher category.
Okay.
What I say?
Me interested. I will listen category 2 on pay. Me interested ba. Me interested. Say mreuma. Nka bobo na me say kuma is supposed to meet me meet is standard na me ndo make us out here say. Enye ready there any problem. Na ka
no bobo say chira okra na. Untimi just suppose.
This is the background of you see mam can say me I didn't buy two things. Two things. First one the stadium regulation, the normal is recommended. Number 2, no so a checklist no. And if you ask me inspector me ba, okay, say the playing surface no must be smooth. Oh, Joe, okay. Ebi ade ye smooth man no. And you smooth man, depending on angle na me need be any normal. Say me inspector ade no. Me because ko ebi o to no, obi okra grass na esi no say natural we kususu. Ebi artificial on requirement, we on requirement. So you bet my a checklist was and I say oh no, but in reality into when we now boils down to ebi and pakra bakwan say omramere.
Who watches the watchman? Those in charge of our stadiums who make sure they are doing the right thing, and I hope the sports minister is listening.